if you hear someone talk that's saying something that's kind of horseshit, it resonates with you that's what you've seen.
You had a moment
before.
with Bari Weiss on your show that went everywhere. I saw a clip of it. I never saw the show itself, but she was going on about, so she was posing as one thing, and then you pressed her. You're like, well, hold on a second. What do you mean by that? You just attacked somebody. And she had no idea what she was talking about. And it became really clear to me watching it. I completely changed my view of Bari Weiss forever. I was like, oh, she's a fraud, actually. This person's not honest at all. Like, she has a very specific agenda. That's all she cares about. The rest of this stuff is just a kind of sleight of hand maneuver.
You're talking about.
So, they're going to get into what Bari Weiss is talking about. A lot of people don't know who Bari Weiss is, but I'm using Bari Weiss. This clip is important. Bari Weiss is going to be the symbol of what we have going on, what we're finding out about a lot of people on both sides, if you will, do this still dichotomy thing. We're finding this out about a lot of people. So Tucker and Joe, in their very awesome conversation, they go into, Bari Weiss and how much she's a fraud, but Bari's not the only one. So we'll just use her as an example for the general rule lately.
About the thing with Tulsi Gabbard.
That's correct.
Yeah, she called her a toady and she didn't know what that meant.
Well, but she had no idea. Like, Tulsi Gabbard had straight outside the lines on some Syria or something. And Bari Weiss was, going through the files in her head, like, what does she have to believe? And she was aware that, Tulsi Gabbard had somehow violated that in a way that no one's willing to say, like, in detail to fully articulate. What did Tulsi Gabbard do wrong? No one will tell you. She's just bad.
Yeah.
And then what that revealed about Bari Weiss is she's completely dishonest. Like, she's.
So this is why we're using Bari as an example. So Bari Weiss, what he just explained there is what I'm seeing happening today, is that if somebody doesn't say a certain thing that another person believes should be true, well, they're just bad, and now this person just comes at the other person who's actually thought out their position. We're not talking about, some wacky leftist talking point of, pronouns, and we could be boys, girls, and butterflies at the same time. We're talking about serious geopolitical type of topic. In this case, Syria, where I'm pretty sure I know what position Tulsi Gabbard took on that. It was a position of where the facts landed, and the America First position of we don't need to be involved and we need to get home. We need to bring our troops home. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then Bari Weiss already calls her some toady or whatever, and I'm going to have to find that clip. I am going to have to find that clip. But this is what it is. He's right. People go through the file cabinet of, well, what does my side believe in? What is it that I'm supposed to say to be a true insert whatever label you want right here? And I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. That's why on Bring the Asteroid, we just bring the asteroid of reality, the asteroid of light and guidance, okay? Through this, but just this muddy waters of virtue signaling. And so thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell, because that's all I want to do is just talk about things and not worry about, oh, well, I'm a conservative, so they might think this about me. I'm a leftist, they might think. People are breaking out of that mold. It is happening, and I'm all so here for it. I'm so here for it.
A liar, actually. You can't, by the way, if you attack somebody, particularly personally, and can't explain why you're attacking the person, like, that's not acceptable. You're a dishonest person if you can't explain why.
I think it's a common thing that people do in private, and they get accustomed to speak like we're talking in private. We're just two people talking.
Right.
So people get accustomed to saying things without being able to back them up. Like, oh, he's a vaccine denier.
Well, I've done a ton of that in my life.
Yeah, I have as well.
Because I'm an asshole. So it's like, I just don't like that person. Okay.
I have as well. But what I'm saying is, I don't know how much time Bari Weiss had spent doing podcasts before that.
Well, she'd spent, look, I'm just saying, like,
but I think
it's important to be honest about what your agenda is.
I think she is honest. I think she is honest, and I really like her.
Yeah,
I like talking to her.
Against,
she's a very intelligent person.
Not against her personally.
I just think that was a mistake, and I think you're allowed to do that and hopefully learn from that. And don't do that anymore. Don't say a thing that you. And I've done that. I've definitely done that. I've said a thing, and I wasn't really exactly sure what I was talking about. Oh my
gosh, I do that every day, and I may have just done it with Bari Weiss. So let me be a lot more specific about what I mean. If your agenda is neocon politics, which is her agenda, just say so.
I'm going to actually do this for Tucker. And so, guys, please excuse me. I usually don't like to get, well, you know what? I'm the one still here saying that we have to have the conversations and, and I'm all about dialogue and everything else. We have to have the controversial conversations to keep America alive, right? So we're going to do that right here. Why there's a confusion here and there's a disconnect between Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson to the point that Bari was trying to make about Tulsi is because Tucker can't say everything that he's thinking. He's still self-censoring. So I'm going to come out and say it myself. When it comes to Syria, I remember when the whole Syria, and I'm going to try to bring it into, just stick with me here, okay? Like, as I know, stick with me. When it comes to Syria, when I first heard about everything that was going on in Syria, how many years ago was that? Like, with Obama and them, it was just everything that was going on. I couldn't understand what it was because I have this thing because the problem with me is like, I'm told like, okay, Syria bad, but I just really didn't understand what that meant. And when I went to go read an article about it, they said something about Russia. It was literally all over the place. You know why? Because they were holding back the truth from us. That's a fact. And so for me, my thing is collect evidence and then do evidence-based things, like make evidence-based decision. That is what I do in my professional life outside of this as a nurse, right? So I can't compute the inner, the undertones. I really, because sometimes I can't compute them, okay? Although now I'm more keen to them. Syria, Al-Assad, when people talk about Syria, you will find that there's two sides to the people's thinking, but the facts do remain. Al-Assad was not poisoning his own people or chemically like killing his own people. It's just not true. It was a lie. And this is known now. This has been debunked. And so we were out and we still are out in Syria acting like we were saving people from their president, and in fact, that's not what was happening. And so when Russia got involved, Russia was helping Syria to kind of just get rid of the civil war that, in fact, American establishment started in Syria. If you want to go back to Barack Obama saying that, we funded moderate rebels in Syria so that we don't have to get involved, yet we do have troops in Syria. So it's just baffling to me how he could sit there and say something like that. But anyway, coming back to it, there's a lot of people who still believe that Al-Assad was chemically, poisoning his own people. They choose to believe that because this is 2024 and you can find out the truth now. We have the truth, okay? And Al-Assad is still running his country. I don't know that man. I don't know anything else about Syria. I don't need to know anything else about Syria because I don't live there. What I do know about Syria is that I'd like to get my troops home from Syria because it's getting hot and heavy in Syria. And we're not supposed to be there, okay? But that's not the neocon talking point. But really, Tucker Carlson doesn't want to say the neocon talking point. He wants to say about Bari Weiss that she's Israel first. And people who are Israel first, and yes, she is. And people who are Israel first already have this repelling feeling towards Al-Assad, towards the Syrian, quote, regime, whatever they call it. They've been trying to take that man down for like, I think a whole decade plus. Okay. That's just what it is. Right. So now this is why he's saying Bari is a fraud, but he can't say that on a show because he's still going to feel like kind of weird. He's still trying to navigate his ways around those words. I have to say things for what they are. Like, we don't have time. We don't, because at the end of the day, if we don't figure out who's America first, well, that's why we're going to just keep being in other countries that we have no business being in and putting our troops in the line of total danger, like just out there for total danger. So this just, that's just what it is.
Don't pretend to be a defender of free speech as a principle, which is what she does.
How is she a defender of neocon politics?
Bari Weiss?
Yeah, like what specifically?
Well, anyone, including me and Tulsi Gabbard, who thinks that America shouldn't be funding wars that don't help America, she will attack as a traitor to America or whatever it takes. And so, no, that's her main interest, which is fine. And by the way, I actually have friends who I disagree with really strongly on this question who believe in neocon politics. Doesn't mean they're terrible people or I hate them or I'm not friends. I'm still friends with them, but they're very direct about it. This is what I care about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Right. I really care about bird hunting and fly.
There you go. I appreciate Tucker. If your thing is like, no, we want to take down Syria because Syria is a threat to Israel, just tell me that. Just tell me that. So that I don't have to read between the lines. That's it. Just tell me that. Okay, I can't change your mind.
Fly fishing or whatever. I can,
right,
you don't. That's totally cool. but be honest about it. So if your job is to defend the right of free people to say what they really believe, then go ahead and defend it. And if somebody is not allowed to speak or fired from his job for having an opinion that you disagree with, defend him anyway.
So yeah, Joe, like I said, Joe Rogan was definitely, very gave Bari a lot of grace, but again, people don't see certain things because it's controversial, I guess, to notice things the way you notice them. It's not a big deal. This is, okay, that's how she is. Like, it's not even a big deal. Just don't gaslight me and make me feel or think that you're doing something with integrity, or you're having a genuine feeling about whatever. It's for Bari to feel like America has to be involved in every Middle Eastern conflict after we spent 20 years, trillions of dollars in soldiers, and for what? To replace the Taliban with the Taliban? Like, come on, man. How long are we gonna keep making the same mistakes? So this is just not Bari, though. This is the Ben Shapiro. This is how he acts. And, we already see that Ben is going off about Tucker asking questions. As a matter of fact, he's going off at everybody. Everybody who asks questions is a problem now. What are your real motives? What is your motive? That's all I want to know. It doesn't have to be my same motives, right? I do appreciate Tucker Carlson, though, for saying he has said things that he knows he shouldn't have said. Like, who will have self-accountability? Bari, Ben, they don't have that. There's certain people. So we're starting to see a little bit more of this. There's a little breakup happening. I don't know, man. I just think that people are really realizing that America First policies are necessary. When you say America First, if America focuses on our own issues and the things that we need to fix at home, this is not a naive thought to say that the rest of the world would be a better place. Now, unfortunately, we are being hurtled into all kinds of conflicts between, in the Middle East and Ukraine. So how do you reverse that? I don't know, but can we at least have a real conversation about it? Can we at least have people who really stand for what they say they stand for and just be real about it? Can we just have a real dialogue to figure it out? Because the grandstanding and saying, if you're not about these wars, then you hate America, or if you ask questions about 9/11 or the moon landing, you hate America, that has to stop. We're not being serious now. We need to be serious adults at the table having a conversation. Thank you for watching.